Trump knows George Clooney. George Clooney's a friend of his. And
I like you more.
Well, listen to you two.
Thank you. And it is my real hair.
It absolutely
It
is.
may not be great, but it is mine.
It's yours.
I have figured that out.
Correct.
I think it looks great. Hey, let's talk about Ahmadinejad. What do you think he meant to the city? Number one, it ground to a halt because the United Nations is here, and he's going to be speaking to the General Assembly, and they even had drills that gummed up the city last week. But what do you think about him speaking in Colombia?
Well, first of all, I agree with Mayor Koch. It's very important that we keep the United Nations.
You want it here?
Oh, it's tremendous for the city. It's great. It's, you know.
They hate America.
It's great that we have it here. Economically, it's great that we have it here. It's very important to stay. I think it's good
By the way,
that
there's
foreign leaders come.
Mr. Trump, the President of the United States, George Bush, just arriving at the United Nations, the diplomatic entrance. He's going to be speaking about 2 hours before the President of Iran, Mr. Ahmadinejad.
Is that good or bad?
You don't want to be back-to-back.
Yeah, it's sort of interesting.
Yeah. Now, so he's over there at the school yesterday. They open up, Donald.
Maybe the president should be negotiating with this guy. I mean, he is the ruler of that country, so maybe.
Is that what you would do in your
Well, you know, it's sort of interesting. The old expression of business: try and get him onto your turf, you do a better deal. I mean, he's on our turf. Maybe the president, instead of saying, let's not even see this guy, maybe he should be negotiating with him. Maybe he should be talking to him.
Do you think he's mentally stable?
Who are you talking about, the president?
Of Iran?
I think he probably is mentally stable. I think he's smart like a fox, and I think he's outplaying plenty of people that think they're doing a good job. The fact is, what Colombia did was good for Colombia, great for Colombia. I know Lee Bollinger, I'm not a big fan of his because he made a terrible real estate deal with me. I mean, I gave him an opportunity to have the finest campus in the world, and he blew it, and he went to a bad location. So, you know, a little thing like that, it causes me not to be a fan of somebody. But they did do a good job in getting him over there. It's great for Colombia.
You know, what about President Bush? You've made comments pretty recently about whether or not he should maybe just go into hiding, that he should hide out a little bit ahead of this race.
Well, look, you know the thing about Fox, they always say they're very pro-Bush, Every time I'm on, I kill him, and you know, it's really amazing. I'm on. I say what nobody ever told me not to say it.
Yeah, nobody's
you
going
guys get killed.
Hey,
you know, oh, you can't say that. I mean, who's worse than me when it comes to this guy?
But you are not a fan of his.
No, I'm not a fan of his. I think he's been a terrible president, perhaps the worst president in the history of this country. We're in a war that we shouldn't be in. Those people are going to have a revolution. They have a revolution right now. We shouldn't be there. We're losing lives. And by the way, they didn't knock down the World Trade Center. They didn't knock it down.
Right.
Check out Saudi Arabia. Go check out Saudi Arabia. Check out where the people came from. Check out other countries. But that was not, Iraq is not where the people came from.
Yeah.
And by the way, Iran is not where the people came from either.
right. And the president of Iran yesterday said that the Holocaust, just a theory, not positive, that really happened, and also said there needs to be some investigations to find out what really happened, what really caused 9/11. Let's talk a little bit about this. We understand, according to a brand new book by Bill Salmon, he's going to be on a program tomorrow. The book is called The Evangelical President. Apparently, through back channels, the man right over there, the President of the United States, is advising the Democrats regarding the war in Iraq. According to Josh Bolton, who is interviewed for this, he's urging candidates to, quote, don't get yourself too locked in where you stand right now. If you end up sitting where I sit, things could change dramatically. So leave a little wiggle room for Iraq. And here he is about to pose with the Secretary General of the United Nations.
Do you agree with that? Do you think that's good policy?
I don't think it's good policy. I think the Democrats have their own mind. Most of them want to get out of Iraq, and I think, frankly, most Republicans would like to get out of Iraq.
But you're not pro-Saddam Hussein. You don't think that, you know that he was dominating every news story.
You never say it on your show because tomorrow would be a headline that I'm pro. But the fact is that he did not like terror. He used to kill the terrorists. They would go into Iraq and he'd kill the terrorists. Now Iraq is a breeding ground for terrorists.
But what do you think right now about, you know, you have Petraeus coming out, we're talking about our situation, how much longer we need to be in there. I mean, President Bush makes some really valid points here about, you know what, you go into office a year from now and you sit in a different set of circumstances than you are today.
You know what I think?
Yeah.
I think we should catch bin Laden. That's what I think. I really think that, I can't understand. Here's a 6'6" guy, an Arab, who dyes his beard dark black. Now, how many guys are in wherever he is? Probably he's in Saudi Arabia, by the way. I hear so much about, you know, other places, but he's probably in Saudi Arabia. But he's dyeing his beard black. How many guys are walking around the street 6'6" with a dark black beard, and we can't catch him?
I guarantee he's not in Saudi Arabia. But I will say this: have you ever dealt from a business dealings with Saudi Arabia?
Yes.
Have they been positive deals?
Sure.
So they make positive investments in this country? They say since it's not government-sponsored terror, you can't take out the Saudi
Depends
Arabian
what
government.
positive investments are. I mean, every time they lower interest rates, they raise the price of oil so that we get the benefit of the lower rates, and they just keep making more and more money. You know.
So,
Give
would
me a
you
break.
argue that our position over there is an oil play?
No, I don't think we ever did it for oil. I think Bush did it because he was embarrassed by what happened to his father.
All right, let's have some fun now. The National Football League has had some problems.